What's going on, people? Welcome back to Real News Podcast. We're gonna get into some stuff with some trade war stuff with the Canadian Prime Minister and also the UE. Stick tuned. It's coming right up. All right, so welcome back to the podcast. Let's get some cold, straight facts right now about this so-called trade war that the Canadian Prime Minister Mark Carney is complaining about. Now, this man had the audacity to claim that President Trump's policies that his policies are hurting Americans, and this is what his narrative that he wants to push out. Now, let me break this down for you real quick. Now, this former banker, now Canadian Prime Minister, is just really mad because Trump is finally putting America first and really not letting foreign countries take advantage of us anymore. So let me head on over to my X. If you guys are not subscribed, subscribe to me on X at Real News 411. So here we are right now. I just want to put this video out there and let everybody know. Let me go ahead and sorry about that. Let me go ahead and start this over. Sorry about that.
This is the beginning of Liberation Day in America. What we're going to be doing is a 25% tariff on all cars that are not made in the United States. If they're made in the United States, there's absolutely no tariff. We start off with a 2.5% base, which is what we were at, and we go to 25%.
As you stated, we've prepared for your attention a proclamation imposing a 25% tariff on foreign-made cars and light trucks. This is in addition to tariffs that are already in place on those goods. In addition to, as you said, spurring increased domestic manufacture of cars and trucks, we expect that these tariffs will result in over $100 billion of new annual revenue to the United States of America in tariff revenue.
New tariff revenue. That's what I'm talking about. Exactly what it sounds for. Exactly. All right. So listen, Carney pointed out that the American consumer confidence has literally hit a multi-year low, falling from 92.9 back in March. But that's the fourth straight monthly decline. Literally, it's just going on a monthly decline. Now, but what he's not telling you is that sometimes you got to experience short-term pain for long-term gain. That's how you build back an economy. That's what works for Americans, not foreign interests. The conference board numbers don't tell the whole story about the president, that and what he's trying to accomplish. Now, check this out. The Canadian Prime Minister actually had the nerve to say he wants to break us so America can own us. Really? Is that what he really thinks? Like, are you serious? This is a classic liberal, just classic liberal and just far left, just fear mongering. Honestly, President Trump isn't just trying to make Canada the 51st state, though. You know, he's trying to create fair trade that doesn't ship American jobs overseas across our borders. But Carney doesn't want to admit that the old system was just rigid against American workers. Let me go ahead and jump into another video. Before we get there, let me go ahead and jump into this one too. All right. So here's another X coming from my thread here. Now, this is coming from the U.S. Homeland Security. Now, global trade wars continue, and U.S. is ready to strike back at UE and Canada, as both already have massive tariffs on the U.S. They do not seem to understand that they are just making it worse for themselves. And I can agree. Now, the Canadian leader announced a $2 billion strategic response fund to protect Canadian auto jobs. He's scrambling because he knows President Trump means business with these 25% tariffs. Auto manufacturing is Canada's second largest export sector, employing over 125,000 Canadians directly and nearly 500,000 in just related industries. Now, they're scared because they've been getting the sweet end of the deal for decades while American workers suffered. Now, let me jump into another video here. This is coming from JD Vance. Also, follow me on my X at Real News 411. Now, check this out. This is what JD Vance had to say.
Can I just ask you about
Yeah, go ahead.
the tariffs? There's been some retaliation, some signals at least in the media that Canada's going to respond. Some of these others are going to respond to the president's tariffs. What's your message for Americans that are going to see costs increase on auto manufacturing, new cars, that kind of thing? Is it Buy America, or what's the message going forward there?
Well, let me say a couple of things. First of all, for the Canadians, and we have many dear friends in Canada, and of course we love the Canadian people, but the Canadian leadership threatening retaliatory tariffs against the United States, as President Trump often says, they just don't have the cards. There is no way that Canada can win a trade war with the United States. What President...
Can I just ask you about...
Yeah, go ahead.
The tariffs.
And we're just a larger country than them. We are just larger than them. So let me tell you something. This trade war is about leverage. When Donald Trump puts 25% tariffs on steel, aluminum, and now auto imports, it's not to hurt Americans. It's not. It's literally just to force other countries to negotiate fair trade deals, because we've just been getting the short end of the stick. Now, Carney campaigned at the Ambassador Bridge, which carries over $140 billion in goods every year between our countries, trying to scare people by suggesting that these jobs are in question. But what's really in question is why previous administrations let Canada take advantage of us for so long. Bottom line, President Trump is playing chess while Carney is obviously playing checkers. The fact that Carney hasn't even had a phone call with Trump since taking office on March 14th tells you something you need to know. It's just unusual for leaders not to talk this long, not to talk to each other for this long. And it's just really unusual. But maybe Trump is just sending a message, and it's just time for new leadership. One where America isn't getting the raw end of the deal. Like I said earlier, when Carney says the relationship between Canada and the United States has changed, and we didn't change. But I'll tell you this, he's right about one thing. Trump changed it because the old way just was not working for American workers. And that's just straight facts. Now, drop your comments below, hit that thumbs up, and make sure you subscribe, because we're just getting started. Until next time, stay smart, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.